Hey y'all, welcome in or welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a astrology reading and a little card pull for the upcoming full moon in Libra. This is going to be our transition over to the new normal, so to speak, after finishing the superpower series, okay? We're trying to get this energy going. Resolution energy. We arrive at the new normal for the characters. So let's pray on that and try to manifest that, okay? Alright, so starting off with, we got the sun in Aries. In the 14th degree, a serpent coiling near a man and a woman. This symbol shows that there is likely to be tense emotion, particularly around relationships. There can be a sense of tension, fear, and passion. Situations may arise where something or someone can try to come between you and a beloved. This can be a person, an event, or an emotion. You may need to learn to let go and find new depths to your way of relating and relationships. Are you looking for your Garden of Eden? Oh wow. It's like almost as if somebody wrote this with me in mind or something, you know? Enticement, allurement, the revelation of archetypal knowledge that may not be socially acceptable. Temptations, heated emotions, passion, kundalini energy. The caution, feeling guilty about being afraid to express your feelings. Basic instincts and sexual energy. Jealousy, using passion as a controlling device. Okay. Oh, so also the word of the day today is serious. Why so serious? Because everything's been a joke for long enough. Okay. Also, for the fear cards, we're going to do the fear cards real quick. See what is going on in the energy. Change. Ooh, that's a good one. Butterfly and change. We will take that. All right. Pile 2, let's see what's going on. What it do? What it do, pile 2? What is going on in the collective energy? Well, this wanted to fly at me. Being attacked by bats and math in reverse. So maybe there's gonna be like a vampire attack or something. You know something really wild? I do laundry quite a bit because I have 3 children. And somebody doesn't want me to say this. Hold on. I found this to be interesting. These are a pair of pajama pants that don't fit my son anymore. And look what's on them. You know, all this talk of pizza lovers, which why did y'all have to choose pizza to represent kid touchers? Like, you really had to go and try to ruin pizza for everybody? But I don't know, like, what's up with that? That is weird. Not as creepy, that's what it is. It's hella creepy. Jeez Louise. Okay. Huh. Mothers-in-law in reverse. Came out in the reverse. Creepy again. Explosions underneath mothers-in-laws. And knives. Huh. Missing your flight. Bitch is gonna miss her flight. Haha. Loser. What's under this being attacked by bats is math in reverse. War. Driving in reverse. Robots replacing workforce. Something about Elon Musk's smart cars. And this bat attack. What's under change? Global warming in reverse. That's good. Hands in reverse. No more touching people without their permission. That'd be great. No more where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Straight jackets. Straight jackets and sharing food. I'm not really sure. Maybe like no hands. The no hands on straight jacket. So like people that like to put their hands on others without their permission are gonna get put in straight jackets. They're gonna become someone's lunch. Plane crashes. I don't know, guys. Alright. That's that. Okay. So this symbol shows there is, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So basically saying that there's going to be like temptations coming up, a lot of heated emotions, a lot of passion. There's going to be a lot of like people trying to intervene in relationships, and basically just saying to use your discernment the best you can, try to keep your cool. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, boring energies that we've already all dealt with a million times and we're all very sick of. In the heat of the noon, a person takes a siesta. Yeah, taking a nap. This symbol speaks of taking a rest when one needs to. At times, you may feel the need to take a break even though you're in the middle of a situation. To relax and recuperate will often serve to give you greater strength to complete the task at hand. Also, always being on the go can be rather wearying. It can make you weary. However, being lazy and unproductive is not the answer either. Taking a noon siesta can end up meaning taking hours and hours off work and not managing to make progress or get anywhere. Striking a balance between working too hard and not working enough is definitely the key. Knowing when to stop, daydreams and fantasies, meditation, midday rushes, snoozing, hammocks, long lunch hours, rejuvenation and the need for it. taking break, the caution, wasting time, disinterested, losing energy or interest when at the peak of activity or achievement, or refusing to take a break. So learning a balance between work and play is very important. Too many people either overwork themselves or they don't work at all. Oh my god, I gotta stop yawning. Hold on. Alright. I need to like remember to breathe or something. I don't know. Alright, Mercury and Pisces in the 30 degrees. A majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up begins to look like it. The symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to envision or decide what you want to be, and as you grow and develop, becoming that vision. Hold on. Alright, the boy of this symbol lived in childhood under a hill figure of a president, and when he grew up, he became a president himself. At times in your life, you may find that you are growing into the image that you have imagined, and it gives you a sense of pride, assuming you have chosen a positive image. What or who do you idealize? What is it that you'd like to become? What image would you like to project? Meditating on a goal or the projection of an ideal can lead to actuality. Just be clear about what you really desire in the situation. You just might get it. Manifestation of ideals, enduring truths, culmination of efforts, image consultants, projections, desiring a sense of immortality, defining one's fate, conscious manifestation. The caution, not being at all clear about who one is or can be, becoming a screen for the projection of others' ideals, falling short of the mark, shooting too far, and achieving nothing. Okay. Hold on. I want to see something real quick. Alright, anyways. Okay, next we have Venus in Taurus in the 11th. A person sprinkling long rows of flowers. This symbol shows the need to take time to nurture your physical self. The mind needs to take a rest, and the body needs to be allowed to come to bloom and bask a little in the light. Keeping an eye on things that you are responsible for will ensure that they don't dry out and fade away ahead of or before their time. Weeding out undesirable factors will be a necessary part of the process, as will tending to those who can't or won't look after themselves. Quiet moments of tender care can enliven others and allow them to grow. Nurture and fertilize creativity, external evidence of internal beauty, looking after small details to reap the rewards later. Not drinking enough water, stopping to smell the roses. The caution, giving superficial attention just to keep up appearances. Giving up on projects halfway through, neglect of things once they're established, water restrictions. Okay, so again with the self-care, balance between work and play, and self-care, nurturing and fertilizing creativity, external evidence of internal beauty, looking after small details to reap the rewards later. Kind of like the story I told the other day about the stream and how I spent time with the stream. It seemed like it was upset or disturbed, and then I spent time with it, and then the force kind of like gave me a little gift after. Alright, Mars in Pisces in the 19th degree. A master instructing their disciple. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to be a student, a disciple, or a teacher, a master. At times in your life, you'll find yourself being either one or the other. You may be the teacher or the pupil, but remember that it's often the teacher that learns and the pupil that teaches. Interesting, yeah. This shows taking time for the transfer of higher knowledge and wisdom. It's also a sign to listen to your own higher wisdom. Someone with something worthwhile to say will usually find someone eager to listen. Okay. When you have a need to learn something, usually the master, the quote-unquote master, will appear. To give and to receive, listening and learning, knowledge, wisdom, and spirituality, knowing what questions to ask, doing the homework, manuscripts, books, and lessons, the caution, dogmatic instruction by rote. I don't know what that really means, but talking down to others, having a know-it-all attitude, manipulating for a personal agenda, one-eyed attitudes. Here we go with the one-eyed crap again. Unbending intellect. You know, that's like prejudice against people with one eye. It keeps saying one-eyed attitudes all the time. Like, tisk tisk. Okay. Jupiter in Gemini in the 21st degree. A tumultuous labor demonstration. This symbol shows a need to periodically stand up when things aren't going well. Oh, I didn't even comment on this. Okay, so this is just talking about, like, you know, not having an ego problem. If you're in a position of power or authority per se, to not think that, like, that position gives you free reign to just walk all over anybody that's not in your position. Like, if you're a teacher, you should always be open to learning yourself, and you should always be open to learning from your students. And a lot of people can learn a lot of stuff from students, which is like the dream I had the other day that I shared in one of the videos. You know, like, why don't they ask the students for help to help solve these problems of all the teenagers that are suffering? Because it was like a bunch of teenagers like drowning, and they were just like letting them drown. They wouldn't let. I was like in a schoolhouse, and like I wanted to help them, but I couldn't. Like, I wasn't allowed to help them. It felt like I like couldn't help them. I wasn't allowed to help them because I was being kept there because something about like loving myself. Like, I didn't love myself enough for them. It wasn't good enough for them. And there was like a drawing I made that said like I've loved myself for 173 days, which I've loved myself for a lot longer than that. Maybe I wasn't like living fully in myself though, I guess. But that's, you know, that's very nuanced and like layered as to why, you know what I mean? But I literally have my yearbook that says like, I like shows proof from people signing and saying like, Tara is my idol. Because like I used to like write I love myself on the board all the time and tell people like, you know, you need to love yourselves. And like, and then I would write like Tara is my idol. You know, so like I was like a nerd. I got made fun of all the time or whatever, but like I still love myself. I still tried to have confidence. I was, you know, I really did have pretty low self-esteem, but I still really tried to love myself even from a very young age. Because I heard, you know, like I remember seeing this woman come outside of my neighbor's house when I lived in Beaverbrook. I've talked about this before, the place where the creepy bald-headed guy lived 2 doors down. Well, in the building next to me, there was this woman that had come out, and her boyfriend, I guess, had come out before her. So like he was out there, and then she like kind of came running after him, and she's like, you can't truly love someone until you love yourself. And like that always just stuck with me. So, and I've explained that concept before, like in lots of different ways, I guess. But anyway, okay. This is about like loving yourself, loving others, respecting others, respecting the knowledge, wisdom that you can gain from others, to give and to receive, listening and learning. Not thinking like because you read something in like 2 peer-reviewed studies that that's, you know, that's it. That's what it is, you know. There's so many people that are so hard-headed and they think they know it all, and they will not listen to anybody else's opinions, which is my whole problem, like, that I brought up recently with my family, with, you know, them always making fun of me and making me feel less than, and like I belong in a straitjacket. So, alright, so now we're at Jupiter. This symbol shows a need to periodically stand up when things aren't going well, or when there's a feeling of being taken advantage of. There are probably many others who are involved in or sympathetic to your situation. However, there may be a feeling of being alone and powerless. So it is important to find out what level of support you have. Even if you have no support, that's the whole thing with loving yourself. You need to have love for yourself at the end of the day. But you also need to have this ability to surrender and not have this attachment to anything at all, even life itself, because when you have those attachments, it allows you to be manipulated, it allows you to be controlled, and then that's how tyranny and suffering and injustice get birthed. There are injustices that need righting, and a spontaneous group reaction may be what has to be done to wake up those in charge. Be wary that your emotions don't take the better of you, and that you don't get into the habit of going off the rails in order to get what you want. Yeah, like not forcing, you know, pushing for change to the status quo, feeling hard done by or taken advantage of, seeking a better share of the profits, protests about having too much to do, tantrums. The caution: using people for personal agendas, issues to do with getting one share. Oh, geez. Resisting change. We did get that change card today, so that's interesting. Feeling that one's vote or voice doesn't count. Yeah, there's that saying, all it takes is one person to change the world, or whatever. Feeling that one's, okay, I already read that. Rowdy emotions. Yeah, so like maintaining a balance, but you need to have that, also have that Jedi mindset where it's like, you'll do what needs to be done. If it's in your power, like, you'll do what needs to be done. And there won't be any qualms in your mind about it. I was also drawn to this book, Survival. So, you know, like being a survivor. Let me see. This is my children's father's book. Headquarters, Department of the Army, October 1970. Fish skewers. Survival in Special Areas, Chapter 6. Your job is to, quote-unquote, get back. The basic principles of survival discussed in the preceding chapters will help. Your survival under extremely adverse conditions may depend upon how well these principles have been supplemented by specific information about your particular area. The more you know about conditions peculiar to your region, including the plant and animal life, the better your chances for survival. Survival in remote and desolate areas in the Arctic, desert, or jungle depends on you. You must be physically fit, have a fundamental knowledge of woodcraft principles, know what foods are available and how to find and prepare them, understand how to care for your body, and how to conserve energy and recognize those plants and animals that will harm you. Armed with this knowledge, you are prepared to wage a winning battle for survival. Natives might help. With few exceptions, natives are friendly. They know the country, its available water and food, and the way back to civilization. Be careful not to offend them. They may save your life. To enlist native help, use these guides. Let the natives contact you. Deal with the recognized headman or chief to get what you want. 2. Show friendliness, courtesy, and patience. Don't show fright. Don't display a weapon. 3. Treat natives like human beings. 4. Respect their local customs and manners. 5. Respect personal property, especially their women. 6. Don't take offense at pranks played on you. Primitive people especially are fond of practical jokes. Okay. Oh, there's more. 7. Learn all you can from natives about woodcraft and getting food and drink. Take their advice on local hazards. 8. Avoid physical contact without seeming to do so. 9. Paper money is worthless in many places. Hard coin is good. Also, items such as matches, tobacco, salt, razor blades, empty containers, or cloth may be valuable bartering items. One word of caution, don't overpay. 10. Whatever you do, leave a good impression. Other men may need this help. So yeah, that's some advice for somebody. You know, it doesn't have to be taken quite as literally as in a survival circumstance, but treating people that are of this native energy, this native spirit, with those considerations in mind when approaching them, you know. Okay. What else? Saturn and Pisces. An examination of initiates in the sanctuary of an occult brotherhood. The symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to pass the tests that life, other people, spirituality, or karma throws at you. You are likely to find at times in your life that you are being judged by those above you. It is difficult to see what their qualifications to judge you are, but this is often the nature of progression through the ranks. People being critical of one another can lead to better behavior, better performances, or the like, or it can lead to feeling judged, violated, and intruded upon. It can seem as though our lives are like lessons. We are periodically, quote-unquote, examined to see how we are doing on our course. Be careful not to shut yourself away to avoid being seen or having to endure criticism. The ordeal that comes with higher realms of being, tests and trials, the Inquisition, examinations, cross-examinations, proving courage and purity, being a candidate. The caution, refusing advice, arrogance, people saying, I told you so, invading others' space, people assuming they know the truth about someone, failing, scandals, and stories. Okay, so not being afraid to put yourself out there in the world. Maybe you were vulnerable and then you're embarrassed and you don't want to put yourself out there. Spirit is saying, or the universe, whatever, astrology is saying, like, don't do that. Push past it. It feels extremely uncomfortable at first, but the things that feel the most uncomfortable will bring you the most blessings. Unless someone's being even if someone's like being creepy or weird around you, how you handle it can bring you a lot of blessings if you handle it in an empowering way, in a way that's not doing more harm than good, you know. So yeah, so invading others people's spaces is not recommended. People saying, I told you so. Arrogance, yeah, no. Scandalizing others, no. So Uranus and Taurus in the 3rd degree, natural steps up to a lawn blooming with clover. The symbol often shows comfort, luxury, riches, beauty, and the good things in life. It implies that a time of fulfillment is close by, but there often is still some small effort to be made in that one has to take the simple steps towards inviting wonderful things into your life. Keep going the way you are. Oh my god. I'm freaking yawning. Keep going the way you are. Following your natural intuition, and you will find the peace you have in sight. Just be aware not to become complacent or lazy, as doing nothing and not putting any effort in could lead to great possibilities slipping away. Hopefulness, inspirational possibilities, gradually enlarging one's vision, harmony, abundance, nourishment, being barefoot, small efforts leading to large returns. The caution, looking for the easy way out, not making the effort to find what is a few steps away, expecting everything to be laid out for you, weeds and unkempt lives. And we have Neptune in Pisces in the 6th, a parade of... Okay. Someone doesn't want me to say this. I don't know. Hold on. Or I just need water. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay. This symbol shows the ability or the need to spring to attention and rally to show others their duty, honor, and their protection of the community and the higher ideals. You may find that recognition needs to be given for service and dedication to the community. Dedication, discipline, and duty bring their own rewards, and it is often people with this symbol that turn up first with whatever is needed in order to make people feel better, protected, or recognized. Putting on your best face in your uniform, and there are many uniforms that can be worn, and joining with others will ensure success. There may be issues of showing one's authority in public, staking one's claim as part of the broader community that works to protect and bring everyone together. National pride displayed, patriotism, memories of war, being committed to service, being dressed up, putting on a uniform, medals, stripes, drills, routines, parades. The caution, stiff and unfeeling, having special privileges that others don't. That's the whole round table concept that we're trying to, perpetuate here. It's important. Having to do what one must do. Drills and boring routines, drill sergeants, and sloppy dressing. So it's being encouraged here on the full moon to be dressed to impress. Dress how... If you could be anybody or do anything, how would you dress? I'm saying... Like, I'm encouraging you via this message to do that, okay? And to act that way as well, Pluto in Capricorn, 8 degrees. No matter how silly you might feel or how embarrassed you might feel, that's part of the blessing that will come in with this full moon is dress how you envision your highest self to be dressed. Act how they would act. Be that role of whatever that is in your mind's eye, and go out in public and present yourself. Whether you go to the park, where you just walk around town, whatever it is, even if it's raining, even if it's thunderstorming, even if there's a fucking earthquake outside. I mean, that's scary, but... Alright. Just be yourself no matter what is the message I'm trying to... I'm not trying to encourage anybody to get in danger, but... Yeah. Anyway. Alright. Pluto and Capricorn in the 8th degree. Birds in the house singing happily. This degree implies the ability or the need to spread joy, happiness, and laughter to those around you. It also shows that music can lighten people's spirits. Further, thinking positive thoughts and being loving and accepting of others are the hallmarks of this degree. Listening to the songs of birds can be rather magical and can bring spiritual messages to you. You may feel a sense of uncomplicated contentment quite often, even though there are a number of social rules to follow that shouldn't bother you. This is a sign. There you go. That's confirming what I was just saying. This is a sign of sharing good feelings and happiness with all who enter your sphere of operations. So maybe even like walking around with a speaker, blasting your music that you love, or if you're a musician, like walking around with a ukulele or a guitar or whatever, and just, or sitting in the park and playing music, like, even though there are a number of social rules to follow, that shouldn't bother you. This is a sign of sharing good feelings and happiness with all who enter your sphere of operations. Being at one with everything: music, birdsong, birds, happiness, positive thinking, singing, entertaining others, seeing the beauty in life, chattering in the background, the caution, idle chatter, smug superiority, not seeing the happiness inherent in everyday life, loneliness, feeling abandoned, whining, complaining, demanding. Yeah. Yeah, being able, okay. Being able to see the beauty in yourself and what you've been hiding from the world, if you've been hiding from the world. Presenting that and trying to see that in others and respect it and honor it in others as well, and not judge them, not demand things of them, and something might not be this perfect dreamy image of birds singing and magic, but that doesn't mean you should complain and be sullen and stay inside because of it. Say on this day you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put my superhero costume on. I'm gonna, try to spread joy around the town, even though I'm scared or whatever. But then you trip and then you fall into something and you bang your arm and then your toast gets burnt and then your dog runs away and then, your car breaks down. And it's like, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to walk. I'm going to dress up my wounds. I'm going to walk. I'm going to try to go find my dog. Or just hope he comes back to me. I'll bring a treat for his favorite treat or whatever. And then I'm going to go spread joy the best I can, even if I feel like shit. Alright? That's, I think, what the message is. Alright? North Node in Aquarius in the 9th, a flag is seen turning into an eagle. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to speak about your ideals and passions and to spread the message far and wide. You can have powerful messages of serious ideals, sometimes political, sometimes not. One can see a quote-unquote flag and salute it or not. It usually depends on what the flag is signifying. So you can even do this presentation, make your own flag, be Betsy Ross, make your own flag and go wave it around town. Okay, people ask you, what's that flag about? And then you can tell them and bring a pamphlet, which whatever your thing is, like the charter that I've explained a million times. Go on AI, make your own charter of what you wish society was like or whatever. Make it in a pamphlet. Go bring it around town on this day. Or whenever you want. It doesn't really matter if you want to stay, but this is the energies that are being supported. So, what else? Your ideas, ideals, gifts, talents, inventions, realizations are all your quote-unquote flag. to release these into the environment is the quote-unquote turning into an eagle. It is the taking off and flying that allows the energy to be released. Yes. I love that. That's beautifully written. Chef's kiss. You may find that you are no longer just projecting an image, but true power. You could feel like you've been reborn, having had some amazing realization or insight, turning away. And I want to say also, if you present yourself, what you feel is your truest self, your best self, and nobody cares, or nobody seems to care, right? Nobody's there to greet you or embrace you or anything. You need to still be okay within yourself. That's the main thing, is like you still have to have that self-love. That's true self-love, is like standing alone and still standing. Even if your legs are broken, you're standing in spirit, okay? I don't know. Okay. You could feel like you've been reborn, having had some amazing realization or insight, turning away from having to prove oneself. Exactly. You're not trying to prove yourself to anybody else. You're trying to be yourself. Rising above the commonplace, ascension, rebirth, shouting joy from the treetops. You can even climb a tree and shout for joy, like literally. Sharing with others, high flight, visions, flags, the caution, full-blown patriotism, forcefully displaying beliefs. Yeah, like not getting all aggressive and psychotic about it. Like, there's people that go out there and they try to present their ideals and their beliefs, and they're aggressive, and they're, I want to say tawdy. Is that the right word? Tawdy. They're not humble about it at all. You need to bring that energy, don't get me wrong, but like not this like scary, aggressive type shit where it's, you know, overly loud, screaming, yelling, saying nasty shit, like advertising and propaganda, blowing one's horn, ramming one's conviction at others, non-stop talk, you know. Like, you can present yourself and your ideas and stuff to the community, but don't force yourself on others. If someone comes up to you, that's different, right? Like, if you're giving off this energy of presentation, of being open, and then someone comes up to you, that's different. So, say, for example, you want to go share your music in public. So you go sit by a tree at the park and you play your music, and you put like a little jar out for tips or something. I don't know, like how you would. And it's just your energy too. Like if you want people to come by or you don't. I don't know. But also like even if you don't, like, if you're out in public, it should be understood that, like, people can come up to you, right? It's just a matter of, like, you know, if you really don't want them to, put a fucking sign up that says, like, don't come near me, maybe. Especially if they're being repeatedly annoying. Otherwise, just tell them, like, hey, man, I don't really want to talk to you or whatever. Sorry. Like, I don't know. Or you just like leave. I don't know. Handle it however resonates with you, but. Alright, South Node and Leo in the 9th. Glass blowers shape beautiful forms with their controlled breathing. This symbol shows situations where one can make beautiful creations from a spirituality or creativity that springs from deep within yourself. Whatever you're attempting, using your inner spiritual energies can shape creations or situations into something worthwhile. It is through controlled use of these energies that you will be able to craft things to be the way you want. Hurrying or pushing things can lead to less than desirable outcomes. Care needs to be taken. The work needs to be done with precision in order to have your creative ventures take shape and be pleasing to you and others. Breathing life into creations, creating beautiful forms, prana, singing, performing, rebirthing, buteyko, breathing methods, breath meditation. See, I don't agree with that 100%. Like, yes, like, you need to put your all, you should put your all into things, but sometimes, like, you know, somebody's all isn't, it's not up to par with most people's standards. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have any value because they put their heart into something, you know? But yeah, like, her rushing things or pushing things when you don't have heart, when your heart's not in it, is not gonna probably turn out the way you want. Okay. Prana, singing, blah, 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 glass lungs. Okay. The question, failing to take proper care, concentration, distortions of the truth, asthma, smoking too much, not caring about outcomes or consequences. Yeah. Alright, what do we got here? Leo in the 9th. Okay, some more glass blowers. Capricorn 28th. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to take in a lot of information, to be social, yet have some alone time. The large aviary has a lot of citizens all buzzing around, all interacting and full of life. There is a lot of chattering and flitting from one thing to another going on. And while there is no harm being done, perhaps sometimes there's nothing much really being achieved. Is this because there is a level of mental confusion happening? At the least, there is likely to be a feeling of brotherhood and not being alone. Finding time alone can be difficult. Clear audience, many inner voices, lots to say, little true content, communicating only in the immediate environment, the internet, bird songs, confined spaces, psychic. The caution, mental confusion, bringing lack of discernment, chattering, not doing, gossip and intrigue, false sense of freedom, abandoned living spaces, and caged birds. So, I don't know. I'm getting it's talking about, like, you know, just sharing your message with people, but it being of quality, of substance, not just gossiping and bantering about meaningless crap. And then also, like, being able to balance the time between being by yourself and being alone. Being by yourself and being alone. Yeah, that's my life, basically. Being with others and being alone, okay? Oh, that burned. I just, like, ate a lozenge that has, like, menthol in it. So, like, the water made my throat, like, okay. Anyway. How many more of these we got here? This is too much. Yeah, this is way too much. Oh my god. What? Alright, let's just do this. Midheaven in Aries. A boxer is entering the ring. This symbol shows that there may be a temptation to take on issues, even to fight, but it needs to be with dignity and regulation. There are rules to follow, and often others will end up being the judge of the final outcome. Make sure you possess the skills and training to defend what you believe. Remember that sometimes you need to back off if you're not winning a contest. Question, are you more on the attack or the defense? Physical or psychological self-assertion and determination? Fight for one's emotional, psychological, or physical space. Being a contender. Entering the ring or the arena. The caution. Using power to dominate people or those around you. Wanting to knock people out. Storming in and taking over. Looking for combat. Being combative. So again, it's just another theme of balance here. And this time it's talking about, you know, sticking up for issues that are important to you, that you believe in, like standing against tyranny, but being smart about it and being diplomatic about it, strategic, not just trying to assert your will and dominance willy-nilly, unless of course you have that authority, like if you're the Most High themselves, you know what I mean? Then you can do whatever the fuck you want. An Indian girl introduces her college boyfriend to her assembled tribe. The symbol implies that you may find yourself bridging the gap between situations or people that are inherently foreign to each other or previously unknown and unexplored. By bridging the worlds between people, you invite a richness into your life and the lives of others that may not have been possible if you'd stuck to your culture, your ethnicity, your own side of the tracks. It is your deeply felt understanding of both situations and the respect with which you are held in both situations that makes their mutual acceptance possible. Challenging or going against the status quo, bringing in new intellectual elements, or introducing a natural earth-based attitude to stuffy environments, clans, tribes. The caution: upsetting people with alternative behavior, choosing people who won't fit in, ignoring tradition, judging people by social standards, prejudice, barriers, and rebellion. Okay. Crowd upon a beach. Ooh, I haven't seen that one. This symbol implies getting along with people with a live and let live approach to life. People enjoy... Okay. People enjoy the outdoors and each other as they leave behind the stresses and strains of modern life in order to get more in touch. Hold on. Just hearing like a lot of stomping around and aggressive type of energy going on, and it was at least the attitude when I was like, what's going on, was aggressive. Okay. Alright, so people enjoy the outdoors and each other as they leave behind the stresses and strains of modern life in order to get more in touch with their bodies and their environment whilst having fun and relaxing. At times, you may feel the need to get out into the open air, spend time with others, or get in touch with your emotions. Joining with people of like mind in a natural setting, in a free and easy way, you can feel the release that can come from reminding yourself of the wonders of nature. Any feelings of what needs to be done should be put aside as you enjoy, relax, and play. Simple gatherings, sharing in natural values, people loosening up and revealing their bodies, relaxing social constraints, suntanning and swimming, informal gatherings. The caution: avoiding close interaction with others, sunburn, sunstroke, feeling like just one of many, dehydration, loneliness, difficulty finding room to yourself. Alright, I'm done with these. Okay. Let's do a quick rundown, and then we're going to do a script, and then we're done. That lozenge, like, messed me up, man. It's, like, making my head hurt. Okay. Maybe I'm, like, allergic to menthol or something. I don't know. Alright, this interpretation is a deep dive into the karmic and soul level meaning expressed through the aspects of this natal chart. Each aspect Do I need to read all that? No. Okay, the predominant cardinal water energy, Cancer synthesis, and the shadow of fixed earth, Taurus, set the stage for a soul that must learn to balance emotional depth with material stability, all while navigating intense relational and creative tensions. The Sun-Moon opposition, the soul's axis of identity and emotion. The Sun in Aries, 9th house, stands in exact opposition to the Moon in Libra, 3rd house. A cardinal fire versus cardinal air tension. This is the chart's central polarity. Spiritually, this aspect reveals a soul caught between assertive self-expression, Aries, Sun, 9th house of higher truth, and harmonious relational communication, Libra, Moon, 3rd house of mind and daily exchange. The native's life mission is not to choose one pole, but to integrate them, to speak their truth with conviction while honoring the need for partnership and fairness. The 0.01 degree orb makes this a fated, recurring lesson. Every action and emotion is a mirror for the other. Unresolved, this creates a cycle of impulsive declarations followed by regret. Resolved, it becomes a sacred marriage of will and empathy. Okay. Venus sextile Saturn loves karmic discipline. Venus in Taurus, 10th house, sextiles Saturn in Pisces, 8th house, with a razor-thin 0.06 degree orb. This is a gift of mature, faithful love that transcends personal desire. Venus in the 10th, career, public image, conjunct the fixed star Aldebaran, a star of honor and integrity, gives the native an almost regal quality in matters of the heart. But Saturn in Pisces in the 8th, shared resources, death/rebirth, demands emotional boundaries and spiritual surrender. This aspect suggests a soul contract to build relationships that serves a higher purpose, perhaps through artistic collaboration, healing work, or financial karmic rebalancing. Love is not mere pleasure. It is a sculpting tool for the soul. I like that. That's good. That's good shit right there. All right, Venus square North Node in Selena, the crossroads of worth. Venus in Taurus also squares the North Node in Aquarius, 7th house, and Selena, not Selena Gomez, guys, okay? And Leo, 1st house. This is a complex spiritual tension. The North Node in Aquarius calls the native toward collective, unconventional partnerships and breaking free from egoic attachments. Yet Venus in Taurus clings to beauty, security, and traditional values. The square to Selena, the point of spiritual radiance, in Leo in the 1st house, intensifies the conflict. The soul's light wants to shine individually and be adored, but the evolutionary path requires detached humanitarian love. The deeper lesson, self-worth, cannot be derived from others' admiration or from the material accumulation, but must be found in authentic contribution to the group. This is a karmic breaking of the quote-unquote royal ego. Interestingly enough, I just recall seeing the president going and visiting the king and queen, or whatever. Yeah, so with that. So yeah, it's about releasing this need for an audience to applaud you and bow down to you and give you all these accolades, and realize that true royalty, true regality lies in what your mission is, what you are doing for humanity, your authentic contribution to the group. It's not how much money you make, how much support you get. It's how you contribute to the group in your authentic state of being, consciousness. Being who you envision your highest self to be, presenting that to the group, whether they like it or not. That's what it's about. Alright, Mars square Jupiter and victory. Spiritual activism unbound. Mars in Pisces squares Jupiter in Gemini and the lot of victory in Sagittarius. Here, the warrior planet dissolves into the waters of Pisces. The native may feel called to fight for a spiritual cause, but struggles to direct that energy coherently. Mars in the 9th desires to crusade for beliefs, yet Jupiter in Gemini multiplies interests, scattering focus. The square to the lot of victory in Sagittarius warns that over-expansion or dogmatic enthusiasm can sabotage the very triumph sought. Spiritually, this aspect calls for disciplined surrender, channeling fiery idealism through artistic expression or teaching, but without fanaticism. The native must learn that victory is not conquest, but inspired flow. Yes. Okay, Pluto in the 6th, the transformer of daily service. Pluto in Capricorn forms a square to the law of wealth in Libra and in opposition to the law of debt in Cancer. Pluto in the 6th speaks of karmic purification through work, health, and daily routines. The square to the lot of wealth suggests that financial or intellectual resources are tied to a power struggle. The native may need to transform how they exchange values and ideas. The opposition to the law of debt reveals that unresolved emotional debts from the past are interfering with present productivity. Pluto's sextile to Neptune in Pisces offers an escape, transcending these patterns through spiritual practice, dream work, or healing arts. This is a soul assigned to master the mundane as a path to liberation. Okay. I don't really know if I have much to say with that. So, like, unresolved emotional debts, most likely from someone's family or past lives, or interfering with present productivity. So the way for that to be transcended through is through exercising your spirituality, dream work, you know, trying to pay attention to your dreams, writing them down when you wake up, as soon as you wake up, making sure you have an undisturbed environment so that you don't get woken up willy-nilly or whatever, like by random things, or I don't know, that will distract you and then make you forget. Healing arts, anything that contributes to healing. Mastering the mundane, so like, you know, realizing that we live in a physical material plane of existence and there are things that need to be given attention to, you know, like the basic stuff, okay? If I'm gonna be silly, say gym tanning laundry, okay, from the Jersey Shore. You gotta have some type of physical, mundane stuff, tasks that you take care of every day. Or at least on the regular, right? I mean, every day, yeah, there's some stuff you do have to take care of every day, but like gym tanning laundry, no, you don't have to do that every day, or at all, actually. But, well, laundry, yeah, you do have to do laundry, but The gym, you don't have to go to the gym. You can just work out at home or like, you know, in nature or whatever. Okay. And tanning, you don't have to be tan. You could be pale and ghostly like me. And it's fine. Okay? People may not like it and they may make fun of you because you don't have melanin in your skin, but like that's what us pasties have to say about that. Alright. Mercury's oppositions and sextiles, the messenger of two worlds. Mercury in Pisces opposes the lot. Oh, so we got like the two tongues. Yeah. While sextiling the law of marriage in Taurus, this creates a bridge between ethereal intuition and practical relationship wisdom. Mercury in Pisces in the 9th is naturally unfocused, but the opposition to a point in Virgo demands clear analytical expression in partnerships, especially with masculine figures, fathers, partners. The sextile to the Taurus lot indicates that friendships or group associations can provide stable sensory grounding for these intuitive messages. Spiritually, the native is a translator between worlds. They must learn to articulate mystical insights in ways that serve practical relationships, avoiding the twin traps of vagueness or obsessive detail. So learning how to tap into that two-tongued energy, so to speak, where you can relay messages between the two worlds in a tactful manner that is not being vague and confusing or beating around the bush, but also not being like too much detail or obsessive or like overwhelming. There has to be like that balance, right? All right. Saturn in Pisces trines the lot of Eros in Scorpio and the lot of debt in Cancer. This is an ancestral healing aspect of great depth. Saturn in the 8th trines Eros, suggesting that karmic bonds of love, perhaps from past lives or family lineage, are being structured and sanctified through this incarnation. The trine to the law of debt indicates that emotional and spiritual obligations. Oh my goodness. I'm probably not going to do a reading for a couple days after this. I need a break from speaking. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. Indicates that emotional and spiritual obligations are being fulfilled through discipline, love, and service. If I do, it's going to be like very, very short ones. Like shorts. The native may feel a heavy but beautiful responsibility. And I think I'm going to reactivate my IG and my TT. It says add down here, IG. If I can figure out how to sign back into it. Alright, the native may feel a heavy but beautiful responsibility to heal family trauma and release karmic debts by building boundaried, sacred relationships. This is a soul contract written in the stars. So there's like some sacred soul tie relationships type stuff that's going to be set in stone by the Saturnian energy. So that's interesting. That's good. You know, part of fortune conjunct descendants, relationship as destiny. The part of fortune in Capricorn is exactly conjunct the descendant and sextiles Mercury and Pisces. This is a powerful placement. The point of I just want to see something. The point of greatest fulfillment is directly tied to one-to-one partnerships. In Capricorn, these relationships are not casual. They are karmic, structured, and often involve a shared practical mission. The sextile to Mercury indicates that communication about spiritual or philosophical topics is the key that unlocks this fortune. Every marriage, business partnership, or significant other is a mirror for the native's evolution. The soul's happiness depends not on solitary achievements, but on authentic, committed union. I don't know why I'm like holding the justice cards and I just felt like pulling this. Collapsing regime. Corruption at the highest level loses stability. Change is inevitable. Okay, so this is a powerful placement. The point of greatest fulfillment is directly tied to one-to-one partnerships. In Capricorn, these relationships are not casual. They are karmic, structured, and often involve a shared practical mission. Career, public responsibility. The sextile to Mercury indicates that communication about spiritual or philosophical topics is the key that unlocks this fortune. Every marriage, business, partnership, or significant other is a mirror. So, like, if you're not engaging in philosophical topics and you're just engaging in mundane stuff, like basic bitch type shit, you're not going to be included in this, is what it's saying. Like, this portal for this type of partnership, or for the partnership that's being supported by the universe right now, for the type of partnership that's being supported, is not going to be available to you if there is no communication about spiritual or philosophical topics, is the key that unlocks the fortune of this type of partnership, or of a partnership. Oh my god, y'all better get what I'm saying. Jesus. Okay, the soul's happiness depends not on solitary achievement, but on authentic, committed union. This is a partnership chart in the highest sense, and the POF/descendant conjunction ensures that relationships are the vehicle of material and spiritual abundance. Alright, next we have Chiron and Pisces in the 9th, the wounded teacher. Chiron and Pisces is tightly conjunct Mercury and Mars, though not by exact aspects. Still, the proximity in sign and house creates a knot of wounding around faith, travel, and truth-seeking. Chiron in Pisces is the wound of disillusionment. The native may have experienced betrayal of trust in a spiritual or educational context, or feel a deep sense of not being understood. The 9th house placement suggests that this wound is activated through higher education, foreign cultures, or religious exploration. Yet Chiron is also the healer. By embracing vulnerability and integrating the intuitive, compassionate nature of Pisces, rather than escaping into victimhood, the native becomes a guide for others who have lost their faith. This is a wound that, once tended, transforms into a sacred teaching. Yes, so that's what, like, with the Sabian symbols, I was talking about how not going out and complaining and being woe is me or everything, even if everything goes wrong, to be determined in exhibiting and showing your true self into the world, even if it's just for one day, on this day, you know, to at least give it a try, you know. Alright, summary. This natal chart, viewed through its aspects, reveals a soul on a rigorous evolutionary path, one that demands the integration of fiery self-assertion with Liber harmony, the transformation of love through Saturnian discipline, and the purification of daily life through Plutonic depth. The cardinal water synthesis, Cancer, drives an emotional pioneering spirit, while the shadow of fixed earth, Taurus, holds the key to embodiment and stability. Every major aspect points towards sacred relationship with self, with others, and with the divine as the crucible for growth. The native is here to transmute karmic debts into conscious blessings. using their voice, Mercury and Pisces, as a bridge between the unseen and the real. The world is the place where the light enters you. Very nice. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Now, we're going to copy and paste this. I'm going to pause this. Alright, so here's the script. We're going to read it. I chose to do a Camelot vibe since this is like, seems like a romance thing going on. Alright, let's see. The Libra full moon at Camelot. And I said, you know, just use Camelot as a theme. And have it, you know, like the characters from Camelot lore. And then have it centered on like romance, because that seems to be the chart, you know, what the chart's about. Okay. A ritual script of romance, integration, and sacred union featuring Arthurian archetypes aligned to the chart's aspects. Cast and planetary roles. King Arthur, the Aries sun in the 9th house, the sovereign will, the quest for truth, the fire of identity. Guinevere, the Libra moon in the 3rd house, the voice of harmony, relational intelligence, the heart that speaks. Lancelot, Venus in Taurus, 10th, sextile, Saturn in Pisces. In the 8th, devotion, loyalty, karmic love, the knight who loves with discipline. Merlin, Mercury. Mercury and Pisces in the 9th, the mystic translator, the bridge between worlds. Morgana, Pluto in Capricorn in the 6th, the transformer, the keeper of ancestral debts and hidden power. Galahad, North Node in Aquarius in the 7th, the future of love, the call towards higher partnership. Lady of the Lake, Chiron and Pisces in the 9th, the wounded healer, the keeper of the sacred wound that becomes wisdom. Alright. So we got the moon rises over Camelot. Stage direction. The great hall glows silver as the Libra full moon rises. Banners ripple. A hush falls. The round table gleams like a polished mirror. Merlin, Mercury and Pisces, soft echoing. Tonight, the moon in Libra lifts her chalice of reflection. Here's our chalice. Tonight, the sun in Aries draws his sword of truth. I got a little sword up there, but I'm not getting it. Alright, between them hangs the bridge every soul must cross, the marriage of will and harmony. A silver wind sweeps through the hall. Scene 1, the opposition, Arthur and Guinevere. Arthur enters in red gold armor. Guinevere enters in moonlit silk. They stand at opposite ends of the hall, the exact opposition. Arthur, Aries sun. I speak my truth with fire. I act, I quest, I conquer the horizon. Yet my words scorch. I'm hearing a lot of slamming. Yet my words scorch when I mean only to shine. Guinevere, Libra moon. And I speak with grace, yet swallow my needs until they become ghosts. I mirror others so well I forget my own reflection. They walk toward each other. Arthur, teach me to speak with beauty. Guinevere, teach me to stand with courage. They join hands beneath the rising moon. Together, let fire and air become one breath. This seals the sun-moon integration. Scene 2, the karmic lovers, Lancelot and Guinevere. Oh my god. Okay. A soft bell rings. Lancelot steps forward, armor etched with Taurus roses and Saturnian sigils. Hold on a second. My right hand just got like, the top of my right hand just got like hella itchy. Like something bit me, man. Okay. Lancelot, Venus, sextile Saturn. My love is not a fever, it is a vow, a sculpting of the soul, a discipline of devotion. He kneels before Guinevere, not in desire, but in reverence. Lancelot, love is the work that makes us holy. Guinevere, and I have feared the weight of love, but you show me its structure, its quiet endurance. A golden thread appears between them. The Venus Saturn sextile, that's so crazy. This is a golden thread. That's mad funny. I can't explain why, but it's just really kind of ridiculous, actually. But all right. Scene 3, the crossroads. Galahad and the royal ego. Galahad enters cloaked in Aquarian starlight. Galahad, North Node in Aquarius. You are called to a higher love, not the love that seeks admiration, but the love that liberates. He gestures to Guinevere and Arthur. Galahad, your worth is not in the crown, nor in the gaze of the court. It is in the service you offer the world. A Leo flame flickers around them, Selena's radiance, but Galahad's hand cools it into clarity. Scene 4, the trial of Mars. The knight's restless quest. A storm of banners, Mars enters as a knight soaked in Pisces waters, sword shimmering like a dream. Mars and Pisces. I burn for a cause I cannot name. I fight for visions that dissolve in my hands. There's so much going on outside. It's like every 5 seconds someone's slamming a car door. How many fucking cars are pulling up? Like, it's ridiculous. Okay. The trial of Mars, the knight's restless quest. A storm of banners. Mars enters as a knight soaked in Pisces waters, sword shimmering like a dream. Mars and Pisces. I burn for a cause I cannot name. I fight for visions that dissolve in my hands. Jupiter's heralds, Gemini twins, circle him, scattering scrolls of ideas. So that's interesting because, like, I was talking about the whole analogy of, like, going to the park or whatever and, like, sharing your ideas or, like, walking around town and, like, you know. Yeah, anyway. Mars, too many paths, too many truths, too many battles. The law of victory appears as a golden bow. Merlin, victory is not conquest, it is alignment. Choose one arrow, let it fly from the heart. Mars bows his head, finally still. Scene 5, Morgana's chamber. So, like, talking about, like, you know, making a choice. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but just finally making a choice. Like, Morgana's chamber, the ancestral debt. The hall harkens. Morgana steps forward, draped in Capricorn obsidian. Morgana, Pluto in the 6th. You carry debts not your own. Ghosts of lineage, echoes. Car door slamming again. It's just wild. I literally have 2 neighbors. One on either side. They each have 1 car. So how many car doors slammed? Over 10 times in the past, like, 5 minutes. This happens quite often. It's just, like, very, very weird. Alright, Morgana. You carry debts not your own, ghosts of lineage, echoes of unspoken burdens. She holds 2 scales, Libra's law of wealth and Cancer's law of debt. Morgana, transform your daily life and the chains of the past will break. Purify your habits and the ancestors will breathe again. A soft glow of Neptune in Pisces rises behind her, the promise of spiritual release. Scene 6. The Lady of the Lake, the wounded teacher. The lake appears as a shimmering portal. The lady rises, holding the sword of Chiron. Lady of the Lake in Chiron. Your wound is not a curse. It is the doorway, the place where the light enters. She touches Arthur's heart, then Guinevere's, then yours, the natives. Lady, teach what you have survived. Guide others across the waters you once drowned in. The sacred marriage. Scene 5, 6, 7. Arthur and Guinevere return to the center. The full moon crowns them both. Merlin, the part of fortune, stands at the gate of partnership. Your destiny is not solitary. Your abundance is shared. Arthur offers his sword. Guinevere offers her chalice. Together, will and harmony, fire and air, truth and beauty unite under the Libra moon. The court kneels. The moonlight intensifies. Epilogue, the blessing of the full moon. Merlin, let this full moon in Libra restore the balance of your heart. Let it call forth the romance written in your stars. Let it weave your wound into wisdom, your passion into purpose, your love into legacy. The moonlight descends like a veil. The hall dissolves into silver curtain. So, what's interesting is, like, the story that I know is, like, Guinevere and Arthur were supposed to be together, and then, like, she ends up, like, kissing Lancelot, and then it, like, screws everything up. And then Lancelot ends up going off somewhere, and then gets tricked into thinking somebody's Guinevere, but they're really not, and then he ends up having, like, a kid with them or whatever. And then Guinevere ends up going off and becoming a nun or something, and, like, giving up on everything or whatever. So I guess this is kind of like a fixing of things in a way, where it's like Guinevere ends up with Arthur and the kingdom doesn't get turned into Camazotz, you know, like from A Wrinkle in Time, you know. So I don't know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. But also, like, there's the whole thing, there's lots of other details as well that's, you know, making choices, too many paths, too many truths, too many battles. Okay, make a choice. Grab an arrow and shoot. Okay? And then we got, where is it? Morgana talking about, like, purifying your habits. Like, that's a huge message for everybody. Is, like, you're not going to be able to enter into sacred union, like true divine sacred union and partnership, if your habits are toxic. So, like, if you consume children, if you... I know that's a really out there one, but it's been a very hot topic. So, you know, it's a very big problem. If you like to have sexual relationships with animals, if you like to be abusive or neglectful or deceitful, you know, you like to do lots of drugs and alcohol and party all the time, and you have no ability to restrain yourself, even if it's for a period of time. You know, and even if you do partake in those things, being able to be in control of yourself and not overindulging, and even with food, not overindulging, you know, and taking care of your body, your temple, being mindful of what you're putting into your body, how you're treating your body, those kinds of things, okay? How you're treating your environment. Alright, so, I guess that's the messages. We'll do fortune, so pick a number between 1 and 5. Pause the video if you need to. Group number 1, your fortune is... actions speak nothing without the motive. So having your intentions clear. What is your motive? What is your goal? Let's see. What motive or goal is Spirit encouraging for you? We got pursuing a passion in reverse. So maybe, you know, you need to get your passions in order. What are you passionate about? Maybe you don't even know what you're passionate about. Carrying on a legacy, also in reverse. You need to actually, like, do things with intentions and have deeper goals in mind. And if you do, then it's fine, you know. It's confirming that for you, okay? All right, group number 2. Education is the movement from darkness to light. Okay, group number 3. Getting together with old friends brings new adventures. Group number 4. As soon as you feel too old to do a thing, do it. Group number 5. In the ocean of knowledge, only those who want to learn will see the land. A lot of stuff about learning going on here. Alright, y'all. That's the messages I have for you for today. Yeah. Hopefully you gain something out of these messages. And I will catch you on the next one.